Why do we suffer? I mean, it's one of the oldest, heaviest questions we ever ask ourselves, right? In this explainer, we're going to dive into the perspective of spiritual teacher Eckhart Tolle to see if we can find, well, at least a glimmer of understanding about this huge, profound challenge we all face.
And it really all boils down to this question. It's a question I'm sure you've asked, whether you're looking at the news or just dealing with your own life. It's one of those questions that just hangs in the air, and it can leave you feeling pretty lost.
Okay, so right off the bat, Tolle asks us to accept something kind of radical. Our human minds simply can't get a complete conceptual answer to that question. It's too big. But, and this is the crucial part, that doesn't mean we're left totally in the dark. He says we can find a glimmer, an insight that could literally change our entire relationship with suffering.
So let's start with the really big picture. Tolle invites us to step back and look at suffering not just from our limited human viewpoint, but from a cosmic, universal one. You see, a lot of us grew up with the idea of a God who is separate from creation, watching from a distance and allowing bad things to happen. But Tolle proposes a total flip of that idea. He suggests there's one single, universal consciousness that is everything. And this consciousness doesn't just watch suffering, it actually experiences it directly through you, through me, through every single living thing. And this quote just hits you, right? It really gets to the heart of his whole perspective. It means there's no distance. The divine isn't some spectator. It's right there in the middle of the pain, feeling it with us. It's an incredibly intimate idea. And you know, this isn't some brand new, out there concept. Tolle points out that this is actually an ancient archetype. It's a symbolic story that just keeps popping up throughout human history in our myths and religions. This image of a suffering God, it's deep in our collective DNA. He often uses Jesus on the cross as the most powerful example of this archetype. But the point isn't just about one historical person. It's about what that image represents. It's a symbol for every single one of us. It's the divine experiencing the pain and the limits of being in a physical body.
So, what does this all mean when we put it together? Well, from this viewpoint, suffering isn't just some horrible cosmic mistake. It's more like the necessary friction, the birth pangs of a universe that is waking up to itself, through us. It's a painful but essential part of a huge evolutionary process.
All right, so let's bring this down from the cosmic level to something deeply personal. How does this universal suffering show up in our day-to-day lives? Well, one of the most common ways we all experience it is through fear and anxiety. And this is a question so many of us grapple with. You feel totally trapped by it, right? Maybe you've tried to think your way out of it or meditate it away, but sometimes it feels like that just makes it stronger. So what is actually going on here? Okay, let's break down how fear actually gets made, according to Tolle. It's a pretty clear process. Step 1, your mind cooks up some negative what-if story about the future. Step 2, and this is the absolute kicker, your body believes it. It has no idea it's just a thought. It reacts like the threat is real and happening right now. And step 3, that intense physical reaction is the feeling we call fear. This illustrates the problem so perfectly. Your body literally cannot tell the difference between a real-life tiger in front of you and a scary thought you're playing on a loop in your head. The physical response, the adrenaline, the racing heart, the tense muscles, is identical. You're creating a very real physical state from something that's purely mental. So, understanding how fear gets created is a huge first step, but what do you do with it? Let's get into Tolle's very practical approach for transforming that intense, uncomfortable energy. So there you are. You feel that buzzing, trapped, chaotic energy inside you. And what's our first instinct? To fight it, right? To get rid of it, to push it down, to figure it out. But Tolle says that very active resistance is what keeps you stuck. It's like putting a lid on a boiling pot. Instead of fighting, he suggests this radical path of acceptance. First, you just acknowledge it. No drama, just, okay, fear is here. Second, you give it permission to be there. You drop the mental labels like, this is bad, or I shouldn't feel this. And third, you bring a deep, unconditional yes to the raw feeling itself. You just let it be. And when you do this, when you really truly stop fighting it, something incredible happens. The energy that was trapped as fear is suddenly liberated. It's the same energy, but because you're not resisting it, it transforms. It's no longer fear. It becomes this intense feeling of aliveness, a powerful sense of presence. This really sums it all up. It's a wild paradox, isn't it? The entire time you're trying to get rid of the fear, you're actually feeding it. The moment you fully, truly accept it without needing it to go away, That's when it starts to change all by itself. Okay, let's zoom back out one last time and connect this personal transformation with that big cosmic picture we started with. Because when you transform your own suffering, you're not just doing it for yourself. In a way, you're participating in the awakening of that universal consciousness. It's like you're doing the groundwork for a cosmic evolution.
This perspective from Tolle is just wow. He suggests that one day, when humanity as a whole has awakened, we'll look back at our history, all the wars, the pain, the cruelty, and see it for what it was, a difficult, often nightmarish dream, but a dream that was absolutely necessary for consciousness to evolve to the next level.
And that leaves us with this final, powerful question to sit with. We always think of suffering as the thing that's in our way, the obstacle blocking us from peace or enlightenment, but what if that's completely wrong? What if suffering, when we learn to meet it with total presence and acceptance, isn't the obstacle at all, but is actually the path itself, the very fuel for the awakening we, and maybe the entire universe, are here for?